And hello again, and here we are back in my garage for another lockdown video. I think this is number 4 or 5, can't remember now. The garage is still a bit of a bomb site, but we are making improvements. I've now got shelving all down this wall, all the back there that you can't see yet, and also some shelving behind me. But what I'm doing right now is a bit of CAD, which is not computer aided design but cardboard aided design, because I'm just playing around with these shapes and I'm trying to come up with a shape to help the upholsterer when he comes to upholster this seat here, because he doesn't know what the bike looks like. He's just going to get this seat base, so I've been trying to sort of make a shape to kind of explain to him how I want the seat to be. It's important that the front of it here follows the back of the tank. I don't want to have a gap here, so as I say, I've just been playing around. That piece is too short, get rid of that one. Down here we've got another one. It's a pity I don't have a sheet that's big enough to do what I want, but anyway, this is a sealed box of course, so it's going to look something like that. Another point is that compared to most seats, this is going to have to be quite thick. I've just checked most seats actually, and most of them are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. This is going to have to be about 2.5 inches thick because the seat rails are very low on a Motor Guzzi, and with rear sets there's not much room between the seat and your feet, so to make it vaguely comfortable it's going to be quite thick seating there, without being stupid, without being ugly. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing there. And in fact, just down here I've got another seat which I'll show you now. Yes, amongst all the mess I've been making with cardboard, if you need that, we've got this. This is the seat base of the Z650. It's now ready, and it can also go for upholstery. A bit tricky actually to make a cardboard template for this, because I'm just going to say cover it like a Z1. I'll show you a photograph of a Z1 or a Z1R or something like that and say cover it like that. I mean, it doesn't have the issues of this one here because it can be a sort of usual thickness, it doesn't need to be anything special. Yeah, so I'm going to take this and this next week to the upholsterer in Farside Town, and hopefully you can get this done quite quickly, but we'll see, we'll see. We did have quite a problem actually with this seat, because it did shrink a little bit when it was drying out, and it made the inside edge of this area of the seat very tight on the rear tailpiece. So we've actually filed that down and added extra layers on the outside. I mean, if you look at it down the line there, it's not exactly straight, it's not exactly perfect, but when it's on the bike I don't think you'll notice that once it's all covered. And so hopefully in a week or two we can get both these seats upholstered and see how they look on the bikes, both the Guzzi and of course the Z650. That said, trying to get out the seat on the Z650 we may have to wait a bit, because right now the frame is at Jeff the Welder's, where it's been worked on to finalise a few welds and clean up some bits and bobs, and also it's making me a stainless steel under tray and a stainless steel splash guard. Now once that's done, that frame's going to go straight to Yorkshire, to Triple S in Bingley, where it's going to be powder coated, and then once it comes back the final build can begin at last. And talking about the final build, the engine, the 1170 engine, is now pretty much finished. It's all together. It just needs 2 more things that we're waiting on parts for. It needs, let me just put this down a second, it needs the manifolds to fit the Mikuni RS34 carbs to the engine, not got them yet, and it also needs a Danet ignition. Now if they're both not available in the next few weeks, which I'm sure they will be, but if they're not, it's not a big problem, because the engine can still go back in the frame and those parts can be fitted afterwards. It's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. And so hopefully the final build can begin sometime in April. Triple S normally have a turnaround of a week, so that's not too bad, and I should be getting the frame back from Jeff the Welder in the next few days. So yeah, it's all happening, it's all happening. I'm not sure where I'm going to build it because I've got no space at the moment, but we're working on that, and we'll hopefully find a bit of space by sometime in April. Yeah, so that's that. Let's now move on then to talk about another Kawasaki, my new Kawasaki Mark II project. And if you haven't guessed yet, this is the bodywork for the Mark II. This is a front guard. It's actually from a ZRX 12, because the front end is from a ZRX 12, so we can put that to one side for now. Make sure we stand on it. This is a rather nice tail section. Pretty good condition actually, but it's got a little mark here, a little scratch. That's going to get painted, and in this box It's not any Yamaha parts, it's actually a rather immaculate tank and also the side panels. I've actually not even opened this yet, so not sure what to do, but we don't have risk of getting damage forever, but let's see. Yeah, so there's a rather immaculate side panel, Z1000 Mark II, putting away. And if you watched the last video when we talked about the Mark II, you'll know that this tank was pretty immaculate and only did about 2,000 miles on the bike before it was changed over. So let's have a look in here. Oh, actually not seen it yet myself. Yeah, so let's have a look. Oh, that's nice. Remove the side panel as well. And risk getting that damaged. And here, oops, there it goes. Oh, it's got damage. There's a rather nice Mark II tank. I was told actually it's looking exposed chip somewhere at the front in use. Which I can't. Oh yes, there. Look, it's very tiny. It's very tiny. You can't even see it probably. But yeah, that's nice. And the reason why I've got it here, other than the fact that I held it now. Right, that's better. Sit down for a change. Which I've got no tea, but never mind. Yeah, so where were we? Yes, the bodywork's here because next week I'm taking it to see Mark Reynolds, the painter, who painted the Guzzi behind me, and he's going to do the paint work on the Mark II. Now, in truth, actually, it doesn't really need much apart from painting this particular bright red front fender, front mudguard, to match the rest of it. I could probably go with what I've got, but to be honest, I don't quite like that colour scheme, the standard colour scheme. So since this bike's going to be Redstone white, it's going to be very different from a standard bike, I figured it needed to have a kind of non-standard paintwork as well. And I found a particular bike somewhere on the internet that I really like the style of it, and we're going to follow that particular design, albeit with some changes to the colours. Now I won't show you that because that'll spoil the surprise in 6 months time when Mark's painted the bike. And it may well be 6 months because that's how long it takes. He's got a huge backlog of work, he's good at what he does, so of course he's busy. So I'll get these parts to him, you can put them on the shelf, and hopefully at some point in the future you can get it done. I did tell him I wanted it by late summer, autumn time, because I figured that's when the rest of the bike will be finished. I said, yeah, no problem mate, I can do that, but I can't do it before then. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so that's going to Mark next week. As I say, hopefully I'll get the frame back from Jeff the welder. It's actually today's Saturday, so hopefully I'll get it back Monday or Tuesday. It can then go to Triple S sometime after that, probably on Saturday, another week, and it comes back all powder coated. Yeah, so hopefully the final build will begin in mid-April. In the meantime, of course, I've still got to do some more work on this one. I've got to do all the wiring, not done anything with it yet, I've been too busy, but I have been busy sorting out the garage. I've now got, I don't know how many I've got, about 13 shelves in here that I didn't have before, so yeah, pretty happy with that. And I've still got a few more things to do yet. I've got a big box here of, just grab that, got a big box of bright orange wall hooks, so they'll come in handy. These two actually I'm going to use for a push bike, so I'm not using them yet. Yeah, not difficult at the moment. Yeah, so that's that. What else is going on? Oh yes, the top secret project that I can't tell you about. The bike for that, Mike from Hull, thank you again. That arrived I think last week, and we've had a good look over it, looked at it with a stick, and it's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Now the engine is out of the frame, but the reason for that I think was because one exhaust stud was broken, and it helps a lot to take the engine out of the frame to fix that particular problem. With it being out of the frame, we can now sort that out, get the stud out, get it helicoiled, new stud in, sorted. The finish on the engine's a bit scabby, as you might expect, it's an old engine, so we're going to sort that out. It won't be powder coated because the engine won't be taken apart, but it'll be given a full service and we'll smarten up the engine. Yeah, and it can go back in the frame, and that's it really. I mean, we need to try it out, but it needs new tyres, new chain, maybe new brake lines. What else might it need? That's it really. It's actually pretty much a nice bike. The bodywork's really nice, and that's great. And I have filmed the first part of that build series already, but as I mentioned last time round, I can't tell you about it yet because it'll spoil a surprise for somebody in the future, because that bike's not for me. Yeah, so that'll be quite exciting to see. Now I have got some parts of videos that I was going to do as a new build series for a bike you haven't seen yet. but I don't think I'm going to have enough content to make it into a build video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you that, and it'll just be sort of slipped into various videos as time goes by, because I don't know when it might be finished. It's not my project, thank God. I've got enough projects. So I'll just give you a bit of background. It's actually a very unusual bike. It's an Italian bike. It's an Italjet. It's a sort of moped type thing. It's a scooter, but not a typical scooter. It's called an Italjet dragster, and I believe it was one of the fastest such bikes around of its day. It's quite unusual. So it's not been built by me. It's been built by Les. He's building it for himself because he's wanted one for a while. So what I'll do now is I'll stop talking and I'll show you those two clips I've got about the start of the build and how he's getting on with it in the last few weeks. So here they are. Right, Les, here we are in your workshop with quite an interesting little motorbike.
Yes.
Which, strange enough, you bought yourself a little 125, which is quite a surprise.
I bought a scooter, yes.
You bought a scooter. It's going downhill now.
Yeah.
But you have redeemed yourself a bit, because it's not just a standard scooter, is it? This is a Italjet dragster. A dragster, yes.
Yeah. Very sought after, very fast.
Yeah.
In the 180 form.
Yeah.
This is a 125, which I intend to take out to 180. Yeah.
Okay. And you bought it quite cheap, I believe, because it was needing quite a lot of work.
Yeah, I bought it as a project.
And
the beauty is, it's been stood for 17 years.
17 years, God.
By the original owner.
Yep.
He then sold it to a breakers in Hull, who sold it to a specialist in these bikes over in Atherton.
Yeah.
Turns out the original mileage is 2,250 miles from you. So that's all the engine's done, all the bike's done. So it's a good starting point, really.
It might have suffered a bit from being left for such a long time.
Yeah, I mean, typical Italian paintwork, the paint falls off everything.
Yeah. I see there you've got your wheel.
Yeah, that's
scraped off the paint.
I've scraped most of it off with paint stripper.
Yeah.
Same with this front swinging arm.
Yeah.
And this is just the steering linkage. I'm taking the worst of the paint off.
Yeah, because I think the reason why you bought that is because it's got a funny front end. You like your
I like funny front ends.
You've got a GTS Yamaha, haven't you?
Yeah, everybody knows that. I've got the GTS Yam.
So you're going to do restoration on it? And,
well, not a full restoration.
Resto mod.
Yeah, I'm going to do the bodywork and the engine. The main frame I'm leaving.
Yeah.
There's a few panels missing, but I'll get them over time.
Yeah. And I believe you said you're going to do the wheels gold, are you? The
wheels are going gold. Yeah.
The bodywork's going to be what?
Red, white, and green.
Red, white, and green. Italian colours.
Yeah, Italian tricolor. Type colour scheme on it.
Good.
So it should be a smart little thing when it's done.
Yeah.
And it's something I can get out on if I need to nip to the bank in town.
Yeah, because it's like you've got short bikes, you've got a few bikes.
Yeah, but it's a pain dragging a big bike out, getting all your gear on just to drive into town.
Yeah.
Whereas if I need to go to the bank or nip out somewhere, I can just nip on the scooter.
Yeah.
So it's ideal for that sort of thing.
I keep saying that, but I never seem to get there. I just seem to buy bigger, silly bikes.
Yeah, I know. But, these are good fun, these little bikes.
Yeah. Cat's just turned up.
Hello, mate.
So he's off.
I don't want him around where all this paint stripper is.
No. Yeah, so it works quite well, you said.
It works very well. I mean, I've got most of this off.
It's called a tank sealer remover.
Yeah, you can see this. I think this is plastic coating.
Yeah.
It might be cheap plastic coating, or it might be powder coating. But I've still got to do this area. But you can see here, I've got most of it off.
So are you going to take that to be proud coast?
I want to take that to Triple S on Saturday.
Well, they'll blast it for you, won't they?
Yeah, but I like this. You can see I've got most of it off.
Yeah, the worst of it off. Yeah.
This had a chunk missing out one of the spokes.
Oh dear.
I think when it's gone down on this side.
Oh, it's been down the road, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone full right lock and gone slid up the road on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And I think the original exhaust has banged in.
Yeah.
And touched the spoke.
Right.
And there was a gouge here.
Oh wow, yeah.
But it was deep, so I've had Jeff Haslam weld it.
Well, welded it, and then
I've linished it.
Okay.
I mean that's just brush marks. It looks
a lot better now.
When that's powder coated,
you won't even know. You never know it's even there.
You won't even see that. There's just a tiny divot in the weld.
Yeah, but
the paint will cover that.
Yeah, that'll disappear.
That'll disappear. So I'm just doing bits and bobs while I was waiting for you to come round.
Yeah, okay, cool. Right. So
that's got to be painted next. I've cleaned all. I've used the acid dip on this yesterday. I have to shut one of these doors.
Yeah.
This is the replacement hub.
Yes.
And you can see where it's clean is where the plastic coating was.
Yes.
And where it's dirty, it all flakes off.
Yeah.
So this is the replacement hub that I've got to now prep and paint.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't have it powder coated because I can't remove the bearings.
Oh, right, okay.
They're pressed in and
they don't want to come out.
They're not designed to come out.
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
Oh well, okay.
So that's that.
And there it is. What was it? 2,000 miles? Amazing.
2,250 miles.
Yeah.
It's an 02 plane.
Oh, right,
so I think
okay.
he's rode it between 02 and 03.
And crashed it.
And then sometime between 02 and 03 he's crashed it.
And
it's been stood in a workshop at warehouse under a sheet.
Yeah, sort of little and large. You get a 125 down, a 1300cc Z30 in there. Yeah.
The original master cylinders are tiny. AJP cheap Italian.
Yeah.
Same as the brake calipers. And I've just received these 916 style Brembo Masters.
Bloody hell.
I put radial master cylinders on a Norton,
Right.
and the guy gave me these,
Oh, cool.
and they fit absolutely perfect. In fact, the brake
Won't
lines
they be too big for a little caliper?
well, we'll see.
Oh, you're going to put some massive big calipers on it?
Yeah, well, these calipers are quite small, these AJP fitted, but on the what you can get is the calipers off the Gilera Runner or the Piaggio, one of the Piaggio scooters. They run a bigger caliper,
right? So you can do that.
Bigger pads.
You can.
So by running those calipers, you'll get a better brake.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the intention, to replace the calipers.
Okay. Cool.
Make it go quicker. You've got to make it stop as well.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. And with that, we'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
Right, so Les, here we are, back in your workshop. What is it you're doing with my Brembo caliper there?
I'm just seeing if I can adapt a Brembo caliper onto the rear of this Italjet.
Yeah, that's a small one, that isn't it?
To replace these cheap HEP Italian calipers.
Well, I think they're the smallest ones you can get, Brembos. They're like...
Yeah, the mounting holes are wider than the toes. So it would mean making an adapter plate. Which
you can do, no problem.
So I was just seeing if it would actually slide over and adapt. That's not too bad actually,
Not too bad. Well, there's a possibility then.
That's sat in the well there. The pad is just about... That would work quite well there. But put it the other way around. Rather, and it's not sitting low enough. I might have to adapt the lugs, but that would work.
Good.
But, the early Ducati calipers have a bleed nipple upright here, and the wheel runs very close to caliper here. Yeah. But on the later Brembo calipers, the bleed nipple and the banjo bolts are at the side.
That's right. Yeah.
So I wanted to use one of these just to see if it would adapt. Yeah. And if it does, I can buy the caliper with the nipples at the side.
Right. So is that a yes or a no?
It could,
or possible?
Without more investigation, I think I could get it to work. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Good.
I could.
Yeah, because obviously you've also got. Let me just get up. You've also got these replacement Brembo.
Yeah. Well, the braking system on these, the manufacturers are AJP, an Italian company, but the bargain basement brakes. I was given these master cylinders, so I thought, well, it'd be nice to get Brembo calipers on as well.
Yeah, matching set. Yeah.
Because the bike's going to be pretty fast, so improving the brakes is a good idea.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we can borrow that for a while. I've got no use for it for a while.
I can weigh that up and see if that'll fit.
Okay, great. And now here we are, back in garage again. And I must say, that does look like a fun little project. And I wouldn't mind having a go on it, particularly when it's been brought out to 185cc. And now I've moved the camera slightly, you can hopefully see all the shelving I've been putting up in the garage. And in fact, I've got so much shelving, I've got space to put up some of my trophies on the back wall there. So they've been sat in a cardboard box, or several cardboard boxes, up in a loft for years and years and years. Yeah, so it's nice to drag them out, dust them down, and have them out on display on the back wall there. They're mainly for bike shows, of course, for my various bikes. My merch one behind me here has won quite a lot of trophies, and also a few bikes that I don't own anymore. I've won quite a few too. The very first custom bike I ever built, rather than restoration, that won quite a lot of awards about 20 years ago. In fact, I'm not sure if you've ever seen that particular bike. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put up a picture of that bike that was built, as I say, in about 1999. Looks a bit old-fashioned now, I guess. It's a bit like a Nest bike, but anyway, it went quite well. Had a 96 cubic inch SNS motor in it, very lightweight for its time. Yeah, so it went quite well and I enjoyed riding it. But when I started to build this one here, the Merch 131 behind me, I sold that one to help pay for it, so yeah, that's gone now. Anyway, I'll show you a picture of that now, and you can see what won me some of those trophies back there. Yeah, look, that said, I actually don't go to shows very often anymore because I hate camping. I mean, a lot of these big shows are weekend affairs where you have to camp out, which I did, but I did it very reluctantly because I hate camping. I hate being uncomfortable. I've got a bad back, and sleeping on a cold floor is not my idea of fun. Yeah, so I don't actually go to very many shows anymore. I do go to a few local ones that I can ride to in an afternoon, but yeah, the weekend ones I don't do anymore. Anyway, that's a different subject. Ah yes, bike shows. I could probably make a whole video about bike shows and all the dubious goings on that happen when it comes to judging and so on, but maybe that's best left for the time being because it will turn into a rant. Anyway, as always, I don't have much time, so we'll have to end it here, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so I should be able to make some new videos where I can show you a lot more about what's been going on. Yeah, so for the time being then, thanks for watching and cheers.